It's gonna be different this year. We're gonna be at Donnie's house again this year.
Not one, but two nights.
2 nights. Yeah, you're definitely gonna want to be there for sure. It's gonna be fucking A1. Be there, be square.
No. Oh, he tried it.
Please don't try this at home.
What is going on, everybody? Danny Huggins here, man. You guys are watching the We Are Wrestling podcast. I want to be acknowledged!
What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, the best one, Donnie, here with.
What is going on, everybody? Danny Huggins here, man. 1/3 of We Are Wrestling. We got the Asian sensation. He's the bottom bitch this evening, man. What is going on, Ben?
What's going on, guys? What's going on? We are Wrestling Maniacs Worldwide. It has been the third of the podcast. It is good to be here tonight, man. Mania week. We're kicking it back off right on the road to the final week of WrestleMania. But we got a good show for you tonight, a little bit different, and we're live. So before we get into the shenanigans and all that stuff, Don, why don't you take it away, buddy?
That's right. We're live for
like
a
from the Brady
special
Bunch.
episode of Rank 'em, where we're going to be ranking every John Cena WrestleMania match in honor of WrestleMania week. But before we get into that, if you're not We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, and you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers, the best way to support us is by hitting that subscribe button now, turning on the post notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO. And of course, you already know the grind is real.
Yeah,
And
boy.
throughout this Rankum, we want all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs to interact with us who tune into the live stream to, also interact and give your guys' thoughts on, the John Cena matches that we're going to be talking about in this episode. And usually with Rankum, we record these, pre-recorded live, but Danny wanted to add, some interaction to it with the We Are Wrestling Maniacs. So that's what we're going to be doing here.
Hell yeah, buddy.
Don't disappoint me, guys, man. Come on.
He's like, I vouch for this shit.
That's right, because if this shit doesn't work, Danny, we're going
It all
back to
falls
square
on you,
one.
bitch.
Bro, I literally feel like we're like
Poke
in the
that
intro
ass,
of the
boy.
Brady Bunch right now, man. It's fucking wild.
It is a weird-ass Brady Bunch for sure, but we are one big old toxic traded family, so I mean, I guess it's not very far off, especially in the pro wrestling world. But guys, I'm excited. It's a different kind of show. I think this is my first Rankum in a fucking grip that I've been a part of, if
Yep,
not
this is
the
your
only
first
first
one.
one.
This is
Just
our
about there.
second one. The first one we did was a Royal Rumble tier list around Rumble Week.
Yeah, that was me
Yes.
and you. I don't think Ben
I was there
took part in that.
No, I wasn't there for Rumble Week. I was there for, I think, the draft, like who would fucking be better in AEW, vice versa.
Yep.
I was
Yeah.
there for that one for a little bit, and then I had to bounce.
Yep. But yeah, so that's the thing. Like with this tier list here, we have 5 different categories that we could place these John Cena matches. We have the best, lovely, acceptable, just about bearable, and get in the bin. Get in the
Trash.
bin means dog shit.
Fucking
Best
garbage.
means legendary. And John Cena, he's, had a lot of WrestleMania matches through the years.
See, here's the thing, though. I don't feel like John Cena's had a get in the bin WrestleMania match. I feel like Junkyard Dog would eat all that shit up.
He's had one or two.
Yeah.
Well, like, are you talking about like
We're gonna be
lukewarm
going
matches?
through it, man.
That doesn't like just because he's been in a match that was like that doesn't necessarily mean he's the reason it was. A trash
No, of
match.
course. I'm just saying, like, I don't think I've ever seen a match of John Cena's that was like subpar. He's always given his 150, so it's gonna be kind of hard.
Oh, no,
So-
absolutely, man. And that's the thing that's cool.
What about the match with the
you know,
Fiend?
Hold on. What's
cool
up, Don?
thing about, doing the Rankum we're able to, have a good discussion about it. And, we're able to, come up with an agreement on where, we place the John Cena match.
Okay.
And that's the thing. Like, for me, going into this, like, with my mindset, I'm also looking at it from not just the match. I'm also looking at it from the build up to the match. Because, of course, for me, storylines, they can make a match even better.
Oh, absolutely. Usually that's what makes the match. Usually that's like the magic behind it. If it doesn't have a good build up, the match could be great, but ain't nobody gonna be invested in that shit. Like a lot of people like look for the build up because that's where the substance lies. So yeah, I could definitely get behind that for sure.
Absolutely. All right. So with that being said, you ready to get into this?
Let's fucking go.
Let's go, bro.
All right. So the first WrestleMania match that John Cena
Cheers,
wrestled was WrestleMania 20, Madison Square Gardens. John Cena went on to face the Big Show for the United States Championship and ended up winning his first U.S. title.
I do vaguely remember that build up. I really do. I think that was like when I first started, like where I could actually like keep a lot of memories in my mind of like watching wrestling was around that time. So that was like what, 04? Like around there, like early 04
This was
maybe?
2004.
2004.
Yes.
So yeah, okay. So that was like very like getting to the peak of the Ruthless Aggression era. Okay. Yeah, man, that was a solid match. Anything that, Ruthless Aggression era Big Show was already captivating to watch because for whatever reason around that time he was on fire because like the dude is obviously massive as we know, but he really like I guess you could say I wouldn't say in his prime, but dude had a lot of gas in the tank left still, and they really did build Big Show to be pretty fucking like threatening, almost like Mark Henry like level threatening. Remember when he came back in 05? And then he costed Batista.
Right?
Yeah, he took out Batista. It was kind of like on that level. So like anything Big Show was already like big, and obviously Vince loves his big dude, so he's gonna build them like fucking tanks. But with Big Show, it worked. And obviously a very arrogant John Cena, very early on in his Thugonomics career, his heel John Cena, the last time we ever saw fucking heel John
Word
Cena.
life.
Yeah, so like, with that and his first championship on main roster and everything, dude, like, yeah, dude, like that was probably the first big splash for John Cena that we saw because he really got to show his strength in that match too. Because like not everybody can F5 fucking or FU John Cena rather. I mean fucking Big Show. God damn it. But that was very very critical in his career. So that was a solid match. So for me personally, I would probably put that in acceptable because that was like the very start for me. I would put that in acceptable. But that's just me.
Mm-hmm. So what about you, Danny? What's your thoughts on, John Cena's first WrestleMania match against the Big Show?
Well, I mean, it was very critical in his career, I mean, he went on to have a very lengthy, U.S. title reign. He won it multiple times, and he turned it into the spinner belt, which, became synonymous with who John Cena was around that time. And then,
it was beautiful.
When he transitioned from the U.S. title to winning the WWE title, again, he transitioned in, made it a spinner belt or whatever. So I feel like a lot of his success wouldn't be what it is without that first big victory. And now I grew up watching, Big Show, whatever, in the Attitude Era and stuff like that. Like one of my first real memories of him was, I believe, in '97 when I remember he took the Titantron and started pulling it down. And test.
Wait,
really
what year
showing
did
his
you
strength.
say?
I believe that was 97, 98 when he pulled.
No,
when he
it was 99.
No, I don't think that was 99.
Nope, he debuted in 1999. It was the St. Valentine's pay-per-view in 99.
Gotcha, because the earliest memory of Big Show that I have is when he got fucking jackhammered by Goldberg in WCW.
Yep, because he was in WCW until
I didn't watch WCW that much back in the day.
That was the first. Yeah.
So that was one of my first memories of Big Show, and I remember, just watching him. And I wouldn't necessarily say Big Show was the best worker, but the whole point of that match was to really showcase John Cena and his ability and what he's capable of doing. I think that was the first time that John Cena gave the attitude adjustment to somebody his size. And I remember just seeing
Don't
that
be a pussy,
moment.
call it the FU.
Well, F you.
I'm sorry.
I
I'm
I
sorry.
hated the change.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
been,
It's
it's
Yeah,
been the
no.
attitude adjustment for like
No,
16 years.
listen, if we're talking about the ruthless aggression era,
F
call it the
you.
FU. Call it the FU.
F you. F
I'm
you,
sorry.
bitch.
Sorry, man.
But
Danny
yeah, that was
saying
like,
the attitude adjustment is pretty much praising Vince McMahon.
yeah, no, let's not do that, man. Vince McMahon, he's gotten in trouble for playing with his floppy disk.
Squirting out a bunch of USB ports.
Holy shit.
I remember I had fucking Danny crying that episode. He couldn't fucking stop. I love live shit so much.
Can I just say, like, the Big Show as United States champion looks so weird because the title is so small on him.
Any title that he had
Same.
looked so weird,
Even
bro. 'Cause
ECW.
it just sat on his fucking shoulder like a fucking like a scarf or something. I
Around
don't
that
Bro.
time,
know.
I thought he was holding the kids' United States championship.
Could you could you imagine if Big Show fucking like got a title like for his size and then somebody fucking took it off of him and then went to go raise it, but it's too damn big, so they just drop it to the fucking floor.
Like when he had that
mid-range?
when he had to fucking get that he had that special ladder made during the fucking Money in the Bank match.
I do remember
I
that.
do remember that. So my thoughts on the Big Show versus John Cena. Obviously, they wanted to really put John Cena over at the time. And I think, what better way than going against the Big Show, especially around this time. Big Show, I believe, was 500 pounds.
Yeah, he was at one of his heaviest.
Yeah, and John Cena, had that big moment when, he lifted him up and gave him the FU.
That pop was fucking huge, man, because that dude was still in his 20s, so you knew he had gas in the tank. Like that moment made you excited for the rest of his career, which obviously became illustrious.
So here's the thing. If I'm ranking it, for me, I'm either putting it between lovely, lovely, lovely or acceptable. Because this
Yeah.
was a very defining moment for John Cena
Yeah.
because
It was.
he was getting popular, but then when he won the US title against the Big Show, they really started to showcase him from that WrestleMania 20 to WrestleMania 21 when he won the WWE Championship.
Yep.
And like with Big Show around that time, like I feel like that he was in that stage of his career to where, he was just trying to put over guys. Kind of like how Jericho is now, you know what I mean? Because I mean, he was the giant WCW and then he came over like in 99 or whatever, had a couple good years in WWE, but like around 2004 and onward, it was all about him like, showcasing other talent, putting other talent over, putting them on, on the train ride to success. And I feel like if it wasn't for Big Show in that moment, I don't necessarily know how big John Cena would be. Like he would be big, but like, from that point onward, it was all about John Cena testing his strength. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the Big Show, like in 2002, 2003, was main eventing against Brock Lesnar. And, he was, a big point in the Ruthless Aggression era. But then in 2004, in like 2005, he kind of, took a step back a little bit and started to put people over.
Yeah.
And he really put John Cena over in this situation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like Big Show wasn't that great of a worker. Obviously, you can only do so much when you're a guy of that size, but like he was good at putting people over.
See,
you
I
know,
don't-
'cause
I
he
don't really-
sold like a motherfucker.
See, I don't really. I mean, I actually no, never mind. Scratch that. I was like, I can't really make it a comparison, but I was like, you got guys like Undertaker who are almost 7 feet themselves and they're flying. But then again, Undertaker is also built different than Big Show. Big Show has
Yeah.
like legitimate, gigantism, like the same kind that Andre the Giant had, where Undertaker's just fucking tall.
Well, and around the time the Big Show really wasn't taking care of his health either. Like he
Oh,
started
yeah.
to take care of his health more in like the 2010s.
Yeah, because he left for a while and came
Or
back
wait,
in
no, it was
2011. He was
2008.
smaller.
When he came back and faced Floyd Money
Mayweather. And then he was in his best shape when he fucking came back in like 2016 or something. He was like ripped.
That dude like deserves all the credit in the world because
Yes, he
he
does.
saw he had issues with his health, whatever, and he took the reins
Oh
and
yeah.
he built himself, bro. Holy shit!
Absolutely.
Could you imagine if Big Show was that built in his like fucking like in his heyday?
Yeah.
he would have fucking been multiple time WWE champion. He would have
absolutely.
fucking been main eventing everywhere. Holy shit!
He would have been booked like Andre the Giant.
All right,
But
so are we
yeah,
all in agreement that it's this match was acceptable?
Absolutely.
I'm okay
Alright.
with that.
Alright,
So
bet.
moving on now to our next match. We have WrestleMania 21, John Cena versus JBL for the WWE
Oh,
Championship.
you
And John
already
Cena
know.
won his first world title.
Bro, that fucking
Straight up,
match.
I don't care what you guys
Put
say.
that shit in the best. Put that shit in the best. Absolutely, dude. Immediately right off the bat, that was the match that made John Cena's legacy. Like that was the match that made him the big main event player. That made him the face of the company. That first WWE title reign was arguably his best title reign because it was fucking tragic when he lost it. Like, it was tragic when he lost it because he made that shit so fucking prestigious, man. Like, you knew the moment he won that WWE championship, we were going into a new era entirely. Like, this was a new
Him and
world of
Batista, when
sorts.
they
And
both won the world titles at Mania.
the
That
whole
was a
world
new era.
changed in
That's when
WWE.
Ruthless Aggression really began.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, it was a fucking banging moneymaker match. I mean, you had fucking JBL's annoying ass cabinet, which, I'm glad wasn't really present or didn't have any really prominence in their match. So it was really a clean match that just two individuals beat the holy hell out of each other, and John Cena ultimately prevailed. So honestly, man, like it does belong in the best category for sure. Yeah, for sure. And JBL again, he's another legend, APA legend, tag team legend, but he really saved his career with the wrestling god gimmick. He really saved his career and he became obviously a major player since he was holding the fucking WWE title. That was his first fucking run as WWE champion too. So it's like he really put John over. Like, I do have to give JBL a lot of credit there. Love him or hate him, he was an amazing heel, but he really put John over to the next spectacle, and you got to give credit there. 100.
Mm-hmm.
Bro,
Danny,
I
how
remember.
do you feel about this?
I do feel like one of JBL's most memorable feuds was with John Cena.
And Batista.
Yeah, and Batista. But like, there was just something different when it comes to like John Cena and JBL. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They feuded together a lot, and I remember, bro. And I was just thinking about this while you were talking. Remember the segment? I believe it was Monday Night Raw when John Cena and Crime Time beat up the limousine.
Dude, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was in like 2008, 2009.
That was still a memorable moment. So feuding from WrestleMania 21, they feuded for years pretty much on and off at different points in their career. You know what I mean? So I do feel like John Cena and JBL are like intertwined with each other. You know what I mean? I can't think of a John Cena feud or a John Cena program without having some hints of JBL in there because they feuded so often. It was almost like him and Edge, him and Batista,
They learned shit from each other in the ring, man. In and out.
And I remember this WrestleMania mainly for Vince McMahon getting his head shaved by Donald Trump.
That was not.
That was 23,
WrestleMania
bro.
21.
That was 23. I thought it was in Los Angeles, though.
Nope.
No.
That was in Detroit.
Yeah, I was literally about to say that.
I don't think it was in Detroit. Are you sure?
It was in Detroit.
Danny, you got to go watch some Ruthless Aggression stuff on the Peacock.
I do.
I don't go back and rewatch WrestleMania, so everything they're just too fucking long, bro. Who has 7-8 hours to watch a fucking pay-per-view?
Me, bitch.
Ew.
Me, bitch, because I did it. I lived it.
Bro, I won't even go back and rewatch WrestleMania 17. I love that fucking show.
Because you're dumb.
No, because I don't have 8 hours to spend doing fucking watching TV.
Danny, highlights.
I don't.
That's your fucking problem.
All right, so my thoughts on the John Cena versus JBL feud before I, give my thoughts on the match. They did a fantastic job with this feud. JBL, I remember, and this is the thing, I respect JBL so much more now that I'm older because when I was a kid, I hated JBL.
Jelly belly
I really
loser.
Felt like, as a wrestling fan, I felt like I was we were in the Great Depression when JBL and Triple H were the champions. Seriously. Around that time, who liked Triple H and who liked JBL? I hated it. I hated it so much. But here's the thing, though. They did a fantastic job with it because heels are supposed to be hated. And JBL, every time he had a match defending the title, always found a way out, whether it was against The Undertaker, Booker T, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, The Big Show. He always found a way out. And John Cena, going on to WrestleMania to face him, I felt like he was the perfect babyface to, end the Great Depression that JBL brought to WWE at the time.
My God, I've never heard any superstar get a louder pop from boos than fucking JBL. There's literally like every time you would hear ding 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 ding, everybody would just be like, "Boo, you fucking suck!"
What the fuck?
And he'd just come out like. And then, like, these people love me with his little cowboy hat off, and then he'd do his little dance.
All the money flying also with his face on it.
Yo, I would fucking stack that shit in my pocket. Fuck you, man. I would rep that shit.
I'll tell you this right now, though. JBL definitely was one of those guys that transitioned, probably one of the best transitions, going from like APA playing poker.
It saved his career.
To like, being the wrestling god. Like
it
was
saved his career, bro.
360.
He went from a fucking hillbilly to corporate. I was like, damn, okay.
Not gonna lie, bro. Nothing will ever be Bradshaw part of APA, bro.
Dude, Bradshaw from the APA was like the ultimate JBL, but the wrestling god gimmick really did rejuvenate his career entirely because it got him, the world title, obviously. It got him fucking amazing storyline main event feuds. He's gotten to work with everybody.
All of his pay-per-view matches were so good.
And
Eddie Guerrero, remember that?
Rey Mysterio at Judgment Day? Like, fucking great, dude. Like he can work with any superstar in any spectacle, whether it's a heavyweight, a cruiserweight. It doesn't matter. JBL really put John Cena over that night, and it was like, and he didn't lose any credibility at all. Like JBL, I feel like it's too much of a stretch to say that he definitely had some like making of who John Cena is today. But without that match, man, John Cena would not be as big as he is today. That match was everything. Because we got thrown into a whole new world and a whole new era from that match, man.
And that's the thing, man. Like with JBL and John Cena, they both, had great chemistry. And even after WrestleMania, they went on to Judgment Day and they had an I Quit match, which, was one of my favorite I Quit matches of all time.
I fucking love I Quit matches. So, like, dude, that was actually
all
one of my
that
favorites.
Blood, man. And then, like, he runs him over with, like, the battery ram at the end. That was freaking awesome.
Dude,
you know what would have been dope?
Just thinking about it again.
What would have been dope? And I'm sitting here thinking about it. It would have been dope to have a cinematic match, Bradshaw versus JBL.
Oh, I can't wait to get into the cinematic match later
Bray
on.
Wyatt?
But that's why Matt Cardona wanted to get the Zack Ryder gimmick. He wanted to do a cinematic match, Zack Ryder versus Matt Cardona. So
that'd be
imagine
fucking
Bradshaw
sick.
versus JBL, bro. That would have been lit.
That would be kind of funny. Not even going to lie. But moving on now to our next match on the card, we have...
Just go ahead and throw this right on the best. Go ahead and throw that right on the best.
Versus Triple H.
That's Triple H?
Triple
H? Oh, fuck. Never mind. Don't put that on the very best. Don't put it on the best. Don't put it on the best. I was lying. Put it back down. We'll talk about this. I thought that was Edge. I'm sorry. I got too quick.
WrestleMania 22 is Edge versus Mick Foley. And then he
gotcha.
him through the fire table.
Okay, so this is 22, like you said. All right, so
main event,
Full
Chicago,
that
Illinois.
bitch.
Everybody at this point turned on fucking John Cena. Nobody wanted this man to win because they were so fucking fatigued. This is one of the first Manias, or actually one of the first pay-per-views, I actually heard big boos on John Cena's side. I'm like, why are they turning on him? Like, I remember questioning myself during that WrestleMania. I'm like, why are they fucking booing him? Isn't he like the fucking, like, I'm pretty sure I have this heel and face thing right. Like, why are they booing him? And people were getting super like fatigued because he was winning all his matches. He was kind of one-dimensional at the time, and he was still kind of he was starting his acting career, so it was kind of difficult. Yeah, it was kind of difficult, John Schreifer. Yeah, like he fucking it was really difficult. And Triple H at that point was hot because he just started his King of Kings gimmick as well. So, like with that kind of thing, and then you also got the subtle hints of DX's return coming really soon, which was like soon after that following year, the end of that year going in. So, Triple H was red hot because him and Shawn Michaels were both throwing hints that DX was coming back. So it's like people were already really interested in that and wanted to see, obviously him do that as WWE champion, which obviously did not happen. I will say it was a banger match. I wouldn't say it would be a 5-star match. Cena versus Lauren has an F tier. Facts. Yeah, no, I would definitely say that match was kind of dragged out. It was a little boring for me, just because of like how long it was, but it was also one of the first times he used the STFU, which was actually like still to this day one of my favorite submission holds ever.
I remember the exact time when he
just
first used that move. It was against Kurt Angle in a submission match because Eric Bischoff wanted to take the title off of Cena. So he said, I'm going to put you in a submission match against Kurt Angle. And that's when Cena said, ha, joke's on you. STFU.
He came with the STFU. Yeah, dude. So it's like, yeah, I would have definitely, I would put that for me in just about bearable because it just felt, for me personally, it just felt really dragged out. I mean, 2 great superstars. Triple H gave it his all. Fucking love Triple H. Yeah, for me, it was just about bearable because it was kind of lukewarm for me.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel, Danny, about John Cena versus Triple H in 06?
To be honest, bro, I remember not much about it, man.
The only thing Danny remembers is John Cena's special entrance, CM Punk on the car.
I barely remember that, bro.
I remember that. And then he showed up on ECW, and I had my Leo moment. I was like,
I don't think I ever watched this WrestleMania, to be honest with you.
Damn.
You didn't watch the WrestleMania that fucking Rey Mysterio became world champion? You're a fucking bitch, bro. Get off stream.
I don't think I watched that. I don't think I ever watched.
Yeah, you were streaming during the Thunderdome era.
I wasn't streaming during the Thunder. I didn't start streaming until last year, bro.
I cannot believe you.
I went on. I tried to get in the Thunderdome, but I didn't start streaming until last year.
Okay, Don, what did you think of this match?
So my thoughts on Triple H versus John Cena. And around this time, I definitely was still, a huge John Cena fan. And I remember watching it live on pay-per-view. And this match didn't really do anything for me.
Didn't give me any kind of fucking anything.
But looking back now, for me personally, I would put it under acceptable because this was, a good challenge for John Cena because I remember being a kid at the time and, really thinking
sweating.
Triple H really does have a chance here against John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, I think acceptable, but I would keep Big Show and John Cena above them.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, put it right in acceptable. I can understand giving it credit where it's due. Triple H is a veteran, so I can't put him at just about bearable. All right.
Mm-hmm. And the entrance was sick too. Both the presentations for the match, and it had that big feel to it, which around the time was tough to do. And I think the reason why this match wasn't as popular as it should have been at the time was because in 2006, John Cena at New Year's Revolution won the chamber match. Edge cashed in the Money in the Bank. But then at the Royal Rumble, they had John Cena win the title back, and they probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
I think that's what, kind of took away from
that was the chamber match in San Juan, Puerto Rico, wasn't it?
No, that was 2005. 2006 was in Albany, New York. I was actually there.
I will actually say though, another reason I feel like the match was kind of lukewarm as well is because it was also riding on the coattails of DX's inevitable return because they were already teasing it for a while. Because especially with fucking Shawn Michaels, literally that same WrestleMania was fighting Vince McMahon, one of the greatest fucking street fights I've seen. And I think it was a street fight or no DQ or some shit. But fucking Shawn Michaels literally forgot everything about the Thunderdome era. See, I don't because Drew McIntyre carried the shit out of it. So I mean, I can understand why you did for sure. It wasn't everybody's cup of tea for, honestly, but I really do fuck with Drew McIntyre's reign. However, referring back to the Triple H match, yeah, it was just lukewarm because it was riding on the coattails of something else, and it felt kind of filler, and for WrestleMania, it shouldn't have been.
Exactly. Well said. So now moving on to our next match, WrestleMania 23. It was for the WWE Championship. John Cena defending the title against the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, in
Man.
Detroit.
All right. So this one didn't make sense. Like this
I
feud.
can tell you why it didn't make sense. So the plan was in
Didn't
2007,
Triple H got injured at New Year's Revolution?
and Triple H was supposed to win that Royal Rumble to go on against John Cena for, the same main event match.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he injured
instead,
his knee, right?
due to his injury, that's when they decided to give Shawn this opportunity, which
Yeah, 'cause
John
they were-
Cena was very happy to hear that.
Yeah, because the DX was still very much prominent, but Triple H did a spine buster and fucking hit his knee wrong and landed wrong, and he got surgery, so he was out until SummerSlam 07 about. I forgot about that. No, not SummerSlam 07, SummerSlam 06 he came back. And yeah, so that definitely kind of changed plans and shifted
It was
gears.
SummerSlam 2007.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, so he fucking so they teamed for a while because they were world tag team champions on Raw that year as well. And there was just shit simmering because, obviously Shawn wanted the WWE championship at the time, I guess. And obviously, forfeited their titles because he eliminated John himself and then just walked out. I remember that match because it was fucking huge. Literally because every fucking tag team you thought of was in that match. But yeah, that was just, it made no sense, and I feel like that's why it was so weak for me, because and it's a shame, because I love John Cena, I love Shawn Michaels, and at the time, both of them were red fucking hot, so it's like,
it was just poor booking, I think, with this match.
That and just because
all they did was they won the tag team championships on like a random like UK episode of like Raw, and then it was just a really weird build.
That's what happens when you have I guarantee they had immaculate plans for DX going forward and for Triple H going forward, but with his injury, they had to come up with something quick, and they lost something immaculate. And I feel like
they should have made this a big match feel. That's what they messed up on. Like, they should have really, utilized Shawn Michaels' legendary career, and they should have, really sold that into this match. Kind of like what they did with Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels in WrestleMania 21.
I agree.
So honestly, with this match, I can't put just above bearable because it's Mr. WrestleMania and John Cena. I'd say probably acceptable.
Yeah, I'll put this as acceptable because I can't disgrace them. Yeah, I can't disgrace Shawn Michaels at all.
Triple H or Shawn Michaels?
Triple H one made more sense, so I'm gonna put Shawn Michaels third.
All right, that's fair. So now, moving on, and we recommend, all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs tuning into the live stream. If you guys want to interact with us and, you guys have some thoughts on, some of the categories, for rank them with the John Cena main events, recommend you guys to let us know where you would put them on the ranking list because maybe your opinion might change ours. But moving on now to our next match, WrestleMania 24 in Miami, Florida. We had a triple threat match for the WWE Championship. Randy Orton defending the championship against Triple H versus the returning John Cena. Because at that Rumble, he won the Rumble match.
Yeah, he came back fast as hell out of nowhere. And fucking Triple H was shitting bricks in the middle of the ring, and he got eliminated by John, right?
Yep.
Okay. So again, this was another match that was on the coattails of John Cena's, imminent return they wanted to make. Because, again, he was the face of the company. And he stayed the face of the company until he fucking left. Finally. Until he left, he was just the face of the company. So this was, all right, John Cena's back from his injury. Let's give him back the title. And that basically is what the match felt like and disregarded the legendary status of both of those other individuals.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Randy retained the title.
I know, but still, it's John Cena in a main event because he's John Cena. So it's like, that's what it felt like, because around this time is when people really started to get fatigued. But they were stoked to see him back so fucking early. And that's what made the crowd pop, is he was back 3 months ahead of schedule. So obviously there's excitement there. But the moment he was back, that excitement quickly fucking died down. Because again, at the time, John Cena was very a one-trick pony. So he didn't really have a lot of time off to really make fans miss him in the full effect. And I feel like it was just a rush to get him back into the main event picture. So I feel like it was kind of another wasted opportunity. So for this one, I would put in just about bearable. And it has nothing to do with the other two. I think this is strictly a John Cena thing. For me,
How do
personally.
you feel, Danny?
I wasn't watching wrestling around this time, bro. Like I said, there was a period in my life to where I wasn't watching anything.
I understand.
Yeah,
I get
no,
it, I guess.
understand. So my thoughts on the triple threat match. Definitely the presentation was all right. I think they did have a solid match, the three guys in the
Oh,
ring.
absolutely.
And I love John Cena's entrance. This was probably my favorite WrestleMania entrance of John Cena, having the marching band and, him coming out with the football jersey, running down that big ramp. Probably one of my all-time favorite Cena entrances.
He legitimately did that.
He should have had his Springfield College jersey on.
I know.
Hell yeah, man.
Should've.
Represent, bro. He was actually just here a couple years ago visiting the coach for his retirement or something like that.
Mm-hmm. So honestly, with this match, I will agree. I think, just about bearable because I
They all
felt
can't be
like
winners.
this Mania, it should have been John Cena versus Randy Orton for like the first time against each other. This would have been the perfect place to do it. Which they
God.
could have done it, but they, added Triple H into the mix, and it didn't really make sense at the time why they added Triple H.
2008 was a hell of a drug, man.
Triple
was a
yeah,
hell of a
2008
drug.
man was weird.
Yeah, because Jeff Hardy was like huge at that point too, because he had fucking. They were going for WWE or World Heavyweight. I think fucking World Heavyweight, right? Because Jeff Hardy was like a huge fucking thing that year.
Jeff
Guys
Hardy
haven't
won
seen
the
Punk, right?
Jeff Hardy won the WWE title in, I want to say 2008, and then
Yep,
he
it
won
was the end of
the
2008.
he won the world championship in 2009, which he
My
lost
God.
in like 6 seconds because CM Punk cashed in his Money in the Bank.
Yeah, and there's some other shit going on, but yeah. So yeah, I'll put it in just about bearable.
All right, moving on now to our next John Cena match, WrestleMania 25, the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania. We had a triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Edge defending the world title against the Big Slow versus John Cena.
Okay, so with this match, again, I feel like having the Big Show in there was just kind of fucking weird. Like, it was another one of those things where I'm like, all right, what the fuck is this booking decision? Why does he belong here? Because I remember even the build-up was kind of ass. Anything Edge touches, is fucking great. It always has been. His heel work is, it speaks for itself. And John Cena, again, big star. So it should have just been those two specifically, and I think that's what really hurt my ranking on this one because Big Show was just kind of there. And he's huge, so it's like if you were to have him in the match in general, you should have built this up like a motherfucker and had him be a huge focus, have him be the big heel of the fucking match. Like, there was a lot of missed opportunities, I feel like, and a lot of opportunities that weren't necessary, I guess. And again, it was nothing between John and Edge, but it was a weak match for me specifically. So that one for me, unfortunately, with even the caliber of all the stores, for me has to be a get in the bin. For me, that's a first get in the bin.
Ooh, I don't
I
know
think it's
about
trash.
that, man, because the attitude adjustment against
Yeah.
both Edge and the Big Show at the same time.
See, but that wasn't. But see, that for me feels like laziness because they did this whole match just to center around one huge pop for that angle, and that feels like kind of cheap for me. So for that, I have to put it in a get in the bin because it's like you centered a whole match around this one spot that was a make it or break it, and even then, it's like, oh, you got two big dudes, he's strong as heck. Cool, but at the same time, the match itself was lukewarm, except for that one moment. And again, if you're basing your whole match on one moment, it kind of doesn't do it for me. And again, Big Show randomly being in that match and being a part of a build-up for that moment feels like a cheap move for a cheap reaction. So for me, it has to be my first get in the bin.
Yeah, so for me, my thoughts on the match, I'm going to have to, agree with you on this one because
I thought I was being an asshole.
it's
Okay.
gotta be all three of them at fault here because the Big Show was just, very repetitive at the time. Edge started becoming repetitive because on SmackDown, great fucking heel. Loved the stuff that he was doing with Vicky Guerrero. But then, like in 2009, it was just like a weird year for Edge. And then John
Yeah.
Cena, it was also like a weird year. Like I wish that they had like John Cena like go against somebody in like a singles match or something.
Yeah.
At this Mania.
It should have just been John and Edge. So that has to be a get in the bin. Like that felt like honestly a disgrace for all of these guys involved because it felt so out of it.
Yeah. What was your thoughts, Danny, on this match?
We just went straight to trash can. Sorry, Dan.
I don't remember. It's good. I don't remember much about the match. I do remember John Cena giving that feud to both Big Show and Edge. It's on like every single John Cena compilation there fucking is. But I remember.
You're not wrong.
But I remember, like, the feud with John Cena and Edge. We went over at lengths with it. I think we did a John Cena episode of the podcast before.
We did.
And, they had a very intense rivalry for a couple of years. And that was, again, just like how we talked earlier, how JBL is instrumental in John Cena's career. Edge is definitely instrumental in that man's career. I feel like this match would have at least been in lovely if Big Show wasn't in it. Like
100%,
I said,
it should have been Edge and John Cena.
Big Show at this
Would've been a
time,
classic.
like we talked about earlier, Big Show, he had his success in WCW in the Attitude Era when he first came in and when he was teaming with The Undertaker and everything. In this stage in his career, he was all about like trying to make guys, trying to put guys over or whatever. But I don't necessarily know if you needed that kind of person in this match.
No, you didn't because they were already super established. Edge specifically because
Can I be
dude had
honest
been around
with you
since the
guys?
90s. What's up, bro?
2009 WWE for me. I hated 2009 for WWE. And what I was watching a lot more in 2009, to be truthful, was TNA wrestling when it was at its, highest.
I will say,
I love TNA in 2009.
I will say,
Jeff made his debut that year
Before
too, right?
fucking Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff ruined it for me.
This was only a couple years after Edge legitimately became a main event guy. So he was still in the progress of finding out who he was too, because he wasn't a main event guy I think until like 05-06.
Yeah, but he was a main event guy.
Right.
He was the top heel on SmackDown for years.
No, for
then when
sure.
He went from SmackDown to
but
Raw,
around this
it was just
time,
an awkward stage for him because he did so
this
good on
time,
SmackDown.
Around this time though, he was still trying to figure out who he was, who he wanted to be. Like he's only been a main event guy for a couple of years at this point. You know what I mean?
And then he started getting lost in the shuffle.
When he cashed in his money, it's weird the similarities between him and Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins' first fucking WWE championship was off of a Money in the Bank cash in too. So like there is a lot of similarities there. So it's weird to think that Edge had the same exact start. So it's like, honest, and he became legendary, prolific, so yeah, I would have to say if it was just John and Edge, it would have been a fucking banger. It would have definitely been in lovely at least.
I will say, they really wanted that spot though of John. Like again, John Cena's entire career was all about testing his strength. They really wanted to have that visual of John Cena F5ing both Big Show and Edge, which I feel like that is the whole reason why Big Show was in this match.
Yeah.
And again, it feels cheap. And that's why.
They all were just at a transition period. WWE was not good in 2009. Let's be honest.
But I loved the feud with Triple H.
Laurinaitis booking.
I loved the feud with Triple H and Orton. But I think it was either 09 or 010 or 2010 when Triple H was feuding with CM Punk. Because I remember 2010. I watched the
010.
Hey Danny, where's the We Are WrestleMania? Danny, where's the We Are Wrestling Maniacs, man? We need them to interact with us.
My God, he said 010.
We did horrible at promoting this, man. We left it on the channel, expecting people to. I actually didn't even get a notification that we were live.
010. Oh, I did. I'm looking right the fuck at it.
I didn't. It never popped up on my phone. Like it says we're live on the channel, but I never got a notification.
You have the bell turned on, Danny.
Yes. But
Clearly not.
I love the Triple H feud with CM Punk, and I watch it back when they were feuding on SmackDown where Triple H tells CM Punk that he looks like he's been on a week-long crack binge with Amy Winehouse.
Where the fuck did Triple H and CM Punk come out from Edge and fucking Big Show and John Cena? You fucking weirdo.
No, but I was because we were talking about how 2009 wasn't a good year.
No, it wasn't a fucking good year.
So
At
I
all.
was.
The
I
only thing
said
that was
I.
good was the Randy Orton feud with Triple H.
Yeah,
And that was
and
barely good.
No, that was good. Come on, Randy Orton punt kicking friggin' Vince McMahon, making out with Stephanie McMahon with Triple H handcuffed.
Okay, no, I
Triple
stand
H was
corrected.
house throwing him
Triple
stand-
H at
I
Orton's
stand-
house
window.
getting arrested.
No. Listen, I admit it. I am humbled. You are right. I'm fucking wrong. I'm sorry. That was fucking fire.
He just got
Fucking
nut
fire.
punched. He got
Listen,
nut
bitch, at
punched
least
with
I'm
Vince.
Matt
fucking-
Hardy
at
and
least
Jeff
I'll
Hardy
admit it.
match for Mania 25 was good too.
At least I'll admit it, motherfucker.
That's very true. But moving on now to our next WrestleMania John Cena match. WrestleMania 26 in Phoenix, Arizona. John Cena versus Batista for the WWE Championship.
So I don't remember any of this one. If I'm being dead ass, I remember nothing of it because I was not a fan of Batista's heel work here. Like his he was acting. He was
Everybody
acting.
loved fucking heel Batista.
No.
I couldn't stand it.
No, here's the thing. I dig Evolution heel Batista, where he
Yes,
barely
Evolution
fucking
was
talked.
great.
But this heel Batista was just like he was trying to be because he just started dipping his toes into acting too because he had just showed up in Smallville and everything. So he was like his interest kind of went there. So yeah, I'll put it in just about bearable too. His interest in acting started, so he tried being more emotional than he could actually pull off at the time. So his acting was just fucking off for me. So that played a lot into why I didn't enjoy it so much. And Batista just took a lot of L's around this time, like unnecessarily amount of L's, and it kind of just got to the point where I'm like, all right, this dude went from somebody that was like, if Batista was like on your team, you knew you were taking that dub unless somebody else fucked up and got pinned. Like at this point, it's like, all right, you guys are making him lose so much, he lost all credibility,
He
and
started
like he
becoming
really,
a crybaby too.
he did, and like he did, and it's
The
just like,
wheelchair thing. And then he goes,
I quit.
That's really the
Fucking-
only thing I remember, bro.
Yeah,
I don't
dude,
remember
so-
anything about this match.
That was the highlight
Yeah.
of the heel Batista run.
So
Hey,
for
remember when
the
he was
match
Deacon?
itself, yeah, I do. So I like the match itself. It was decent. It was okay, but the build up and for what happened in that atrocious time period, I'm definitely gonna have to put it in just about bearable.
Yeah, I feel like their match at Over the Limit was a lot better.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
even their SummerSlam match, I felt like was better where Cena got hurt than this one. But I don't know. I just wasn't a fan of heel Batista at this time. There was just a
Mhm.
lot missing to the character. And I don't know. I've always loved babyface Batista and Evolution Batista. So for me, I would have
Absolutely.
to put just above bearable.
Okay, yeah. I
How
can
do you
get with
feel,
that.
Danny?
Again, I don't remember much about this match. Just like Ben, like I remember Batista like being in a wheelchair all fucked up, and he's like, "I
quit.
I quit.
Yo, don't make fun
He
of my
wanted,
Kuya
he
like
wanted
that.
another shot at the WWE Championship, and he wanted John Cena fired. He wanted a lot of things that he was definitely not getting.
He sounds like the CM Punk on steroids.
All right, moving on now to our next WrestleMania match, WrestleMania 27.
I did not watch this one.
versus The Miz for the WWE Championship.
I did not watch this one. I did not care about this one because I really fucking can't stand the Miz. Like I respect the Miz's grind, but I can't fucking stand him. So
I
like
love
I've
Miz at
never.
this time.
I love the Miz here. I hate how the Miz is now.
So yeah, you guys can elaborate on this one. This one
Alright.
I will forfeit my answer
Okay.
indefinitely.
To be honest with you, Danny, for me, and I might, this might be a hot take here because
Get in the bin.
No.
He's gonna put it
No.
lovely, 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 isn't he?
Lovely, lovely, lovely for me because The Miz at this time was my favorite heel at the time. They did a fantastic job, with his cash in and with the Money in the Bank. I also really like The Rock getting involved too and helping The Miz win.
I
so
remember that, and that's what
built
set
the
up the
next
match for
Mania
28.
match. Exactly. And The Miz, I love the entrance with him and John Cena. They both had fantastic entrances at the time. It was a great
Yeah.
rivalry that they were building because, of course, The Miz always felt like he was underappreciated. So, like, he really added that real to it, which made, the storyline more interesting.
Mhm.
And, just having The Rock there too also made it, interesting as well. And gave The Miz more heat, actually.
Yep. It's just like I understand like the whole point of this match was really like for The Rock to get involved and obviously set up WrestleMania 28. But it just feels like this was like John Cena and The Miz. It just seemed like this was a very weird match for The Rock to get involved. Like, why would they pick The Miz as John Cena's opponent? It just doesn't make any much sense to me.
Well, at the time, he was, the top heel in 2011 as, the WWE champion.
I don't know.
Honestly, I changed my answer. I'd probably put it as acceptable, but over John Cena and The Big Show.
They probably thought the only way John Cena was going to lose to The Miz was if The Rock got involved.
Yeah, that sounds
Super
about right,
Cena.
man.
Do Super Cena.
And like I like The Miz. I like the Miz at this point.
Me too.
I hate how he is now. Miz is just one of those guys. He's never really like transformed his character. I don't know.
Yeah, no. Ever since he went heel, he just never turned back. So Miz is ultimately a one-trick pony. He always has
here's the
been.
thing
That's
with
why I
The
don't
Miz.
respect him.
Here's the thing, like I love The Miz in the beginning of his career, especially around
When he
2011.
looked like
Really?
that punk
Really?
rock skater boy.
Really? You were a huge fan of Miz in the beginning of his career when he absolutely butchered the fuck out of the Diva Search shit, and then like absolutely started sweating bricks like he was gonna lose his job on live television. So in the beginning of his career, really?
Okay, not the Ryan Seacrest stuff. His in-ring stuff, like with ECW, with him and Morrison. I love their tag team.
I love The Miz.
I
when he
will
was, like,
give Miz.
He looked like a member of Blink 182.
But no, here's the thing though. After 2011, when he started to get stale, I didn't like him until about 2016 when, he was doing the heel stuff on the SmackDown Live brand. Him and Danielson, they did a great job.
I wasn't a fan of Miz after that shit at all, and I'm to this day I still struggle with it. But at the same time, I will give Miz credit where it's due because he made a lot of people forget about that Diva Search botch. Like he made a lot of people forget about it with his accolades. He's a Grand Slam champion 2 times over. Like you can't beat that shit, dude. So it's like at the same time, you really like this dude went from butchering the fuck out of a Diva Search number and what to do on live television as a host of the Diva Search and captured literally it all twice.
And he got kicked out of the locker room for over a year.
That's what I'm fucking saying. So it's like he really made a lot of people forget about it. Like that moment doesn't even fucking matter anymore. He laughs about it to this day, which is great.
Yeah,
So-
didn't he have to fucking get changed in like a broom closet? And he went to Undertaker one day. Was like, "Can I go back in the locker room?"
She's fucking Christ.
So, do you guys agree though? Acceptable, or should we move him a little bit?
I
like,
would say
over?
acceptable just because just knowing like what it set up for the following year.
Honestly, like yeah, we could put acceptable, maybe like right there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good spot for it.
Yeah.
All right.
So, moving on now to our next match.
All right.
WrestleMania 28. John Cena versus.
You can put this at the
Rock.
best. You can put this at the best right now. So with this match, this was the match between two Goliaths. This was literally the passing of the torch match as like, the people's people, the people's person rather, with John Cena, like going against The Rock in general. You've literally reached God mode. Like you've reached God mode at this point. Like you know that you've done it all and established it all 10 times over at this point. To even have this match was something of a fan's dream. Like we never thought in a million years at this point that The Rock would ever be competing in a wrestling ring again because of how hot he became as a movie star. Because at this point, he had been away from WWE for over 8-9 years at this point consecutively. Like he made an appearance again in 2006 or 2007 with Bobby Lashley and fucking Umaga's match at WrestleMania 23. He made a little cameo on WWE television after 7 years, but he actually came back in 2011. So when he came back, this was fucking huge. This was his first actual match in years, and people were hot for it. The biggest star of yesterday with the biggest star of today at that point. Huge. In the build-up, finesse. You had two dudes who were amazing on the mic. You had to literally see John Cena as the heel in this situation because ain't nobody give a fuck about what John's doing in this match. It was all about The Rock. And it didn't hurt him because John, if anybody can stand up to the fucking Rock at this point, it was John Cena. So I have to say,
And it was
fantastic.
real, too.
Dude, fucking phenomenal. And there was so much respect in and out of that fucking ring. Like, it was amazing. The build-up, fucking perfect. Like, you couldn't have had two better people on the mic going back and forth at each other and then proving it in the ring. There was no win or loss in that match. It was just two fucking Goliaths tearing down the fucking house. And that's how I feel about it.
How do you feel about it, Danny? Did you watch it?
I did watch it. I agree with what Ben said. But as far as like, having this be like the passing of the torch, I wouldn't necessarily say that was this match. I would say, because obviously they wrestled at 28 and 29. I would say at WrestleMania 29. You know what I mean? Because you really can't have a passing of the torch match if they're gonna wrestle consecutively.
I wouldn't.
2 years in a
Here's the
row.
thing, though. I wouldn't say it was a passing of the torch. I would just say this was like a once in a generational type of match.
Kind
It
of
was
like
basically
Rock and
Michael
Hogan
Jordan
back in the
versus
day.
LeBron James.
Kind of like Rock and Hogan back in the day, back at WrestleMania 18.
Exactly.
Okay, so kind of like an iconic match.
Yep.
And that's why they
Icon
built it as
versus
once in a
icon.
lifetime.
But I love the build to it, and like obviously with Rock's schedule, you couldn't have him on TV every week. So I remember around this time he was promoting heavy his Facebook page, and he was posting videos and sending them in and cutting promos in his fucking backyard, and talking about how John Cena dressed up like a fruity pebble, and
That
you
shit
know.
was so fucking funny. Oh my
That
god.
was
Remember when they
great.
had remember that dude Matty B Raps? That
Yeah.
The Rock,
Yes, Matty B. Yes, I remember that.
they had him
Yes.
dressed up like John Cena, and The Rock made him cry.
You can't see me. You can't see me. Sorry.
You can't see me.
You can't see me.
Bro, that was fucking hysterical, man.
One of the greatest build-ups to a fucking match, period. I don't give a fuck. Don't at me.
And you didn't even need The Rock to be there.
No.
You know what I mean?
John carried that shit on his fucking shoulders.
For a whole year, they
For a
did
whole fucking
this.
year, dude.
And it made Raw like must-watch TV at the time because you didn't know what The Rock was gonna do like outside of like WWE.
You
And
didn't
like
know when
you
the
didn't
fuck
know
he
what
was
John
showing
Cena
up.
was gonna say because these guys really had legitimate heat with each other because John Cena didn't respect how The Rock went to Hollywood, and The Rock should be doing what John Cena's doing at the time. For to be there for the people, the millions. So like there was legitimate heat there, and
Yeah.
honestly, like my thoughts on this once in a lifetime match, probably John Cena's best WrestleMania, storyline, best WrestleMania match, hands down.
A lot
They
of
did a
credit for that
fantastic
build-up
job
too.
with all the segments. I remember The Rock going to Boston, going to going to all these historical like monuments, taking all of John Cena's wacky merchandise and throwing it into the freaking into the river.
My god, dude. I remember all of that.
The garden gnomes, the alarm clocks, the perfumes. That was some great shit. The Rock concert too was also fantastic.
I will
too.
say, if it ever gets to that point, because obviously, it may not happen, but if we ever do get Roman and Rock, this is how I want the build-up to be.
Something
very similar.
huge over a massive amount of time.
Because that's the thing, man. Like they made it work, and I loved how like The Rock also would bring up things that were going on with John Cena in storylines that weren't Rock versus Cena. Like I remember the concert, he brought up the whole, kissing Eve Torres, like pretty much, like messing with, his best friend, Zack Ryder at the time.
Yeah.
And she cheated on Zack Ryder with John Cena.
Remember
And
when
talking about his wife.
I remember it was Rock and Cena, and they were cutting a promo in the ring, and they were both making fun of Vicky Guerrero, and John Cena was like, "Vicky is so fat when she wakes up in sections." Remember that,
I do.
Cricket noises.
bro? That shit was fucking hysterical.
The best part, though, about the Cena and Rock feud was when John Cena called The Rock out for having the promo on his wrist. That was great.
But I feel like this was a very good use because around this time, social media was still, it wasn't in its infancy, but it was still relatively new. So it was a great use of social media and, The Rock promoting his Facebook, and, that's how you can do it now. You don't have to have these guys on TV every week. They film like, a 5-minute thing, send it to the WWE production, and they can fucking play it on air. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
been perfect use of social media.
Yeah, so I think we all are definitely agreement. The best, right?
Yep.
All right, moving on now to the next WrestleMania match, WrestleMania 29. The Rock versus John Cena, but this time for the WWE Championship.
I remember a little bit about it. I wasn't as enthusiastic about this
Me
match
either.
compared to
I
the
didn't
first
watch
one.
it. I didn't watch it. It was just about bearable because again, two Goliaths and all that shit. But
Yeah.
yeah,
The
I was
first
just
one
I
was
wasn't
better.
down. I wasn't down just with the same match twice, just with the fucking title involved.
Yep,
So,
the part
we
I
can
didn't
skip
like.
right over.
But here's the thing: the part I didn't like about the John Cena Rock 2 match was the first match they built it as once in a lifetime.
Yeah. And then they do it the following year.
Like
For the money.
imagine The Rock and Hulk Hogan had another match at 18. How would that would take so much away
You
from
mean at
17.
19?
Oh wait, you're right. Yeah, damn,
No,
you got me there.
But still, like it just to have it built so well the first time, you should have just pulled the plug there. Even for the money, you shouldn't have fucking done it. Like you shouldn't have. And
Yep.
that's
Yep.
where it really showed that even to this day, WWE is just selfish. They're fucking selfish. Like, yeah, do I enjoy some of their product? Absolutely, but they're fucking selfish. They're just money fucking hungry, and
Was
that was
this
a
the
fucking
match in
prime example.
Was this the match in Detroit?
I believe so.
Nope, this was
No.
New York, New Jersey, MetLife Stadium.
What was the John
Yes,
Cena?
yes.
What was the John?
that.
What was the John Cena match where he showed up in the fucking car? He like drove the car and then crashed into the plexiglass.
It's a WrestleMania you didn't watch, Danny. WrestleMania 23.
Yeah, you dumb bitch.
But no, with the number 2, it just didn't hit. And like I did not. That's like when CM Punk lost a lot of his momentum because he was going on, as one of the longest reigning WWE champions at the time. And
So
then The
Rock
Rock
spanked
took
him.
the title off of him at that Royal Rumble.
Which was awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that though. I feel like they only took.
I would have had
that
him
title.
hold the title until WrestleMania and then lose it.
They only had Punk lose the title just so it would make sense for The Rock and Cena to have a match, and then obviously The Rock put Cena over. There was really no point in CM Punk losing that match at the Royal Rumble.
Bro, it was just, bro, I would just move on and take that dub because at least we got to see The Rock as WWE champion again, and it felt good in our souls to see it again. It was still a dub either way, even if it was pointless.
But he did reveal the shit title.
Exactly.
But honestly, the best part though about the second match was after the match, if you watch some of the documentaries, backstage, that's when The Rock and John Cena hugged and they respected one another. And like they went from legitimately hating each other to like now being good friends.
Now John Cena and The Rock are the fucking in the same industry. Yep. I want them to do a movie.
And now
or
John
TV
Cena's
show together.
basically The Rock.
Could you imagine John Cena and The Rock in a buddy cop movie?
I would absolutely
I'd
pay
go
to go
see it.
see that. I would
We're
absolutely
planning
pay
a
to go
trip
see
if
that.
that happens. We're going to Regal Cinema.
Hell yeah, right? An
That'd be
MGM, bro.
wild, bro.
And then we'll go
Yeah.
gamble after and win $1 million.
I'm
Yeah,
waiting
hopefully.
I'm waiting for Cena and The Rock to do something. Put Rock in fucking Peacemaker, bro.
Hell yeah, I'd be down for that shit.
All right, moving on now to our next WrestleMania match. John Cena versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans.
I did not watch this one.
This is a horrible mania for the simple fact that Brock Lesnar beat Undertaker for the streak, and it just this WrestleMania left a huge sour taste in my mouth. I will not watch it. It does not exist to me.
It's unfortunate that it was Bray Wyatt's best fucking persona, but I would still put that in just about bearable just for the simple case of what it was.
Come on, no.
Yeah, dude.
can't
I
do
just
that.
for the
Come
circumstances, yeah.
Come on.
It's probably a good match. It's
I'll
just,
put
I
it in
will watch
Mania
acceptable.
30, besides the whole Undertaker
Listen.
thing, it was a solid Mania.
I will put it in acceptable at the very front over Big Show and John Cena.
All right, that's fair, because I was going to say lovely, 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 so we can meet in the middle.
Okay, we can be right down the middle.
Because here's why, for me, I really enjoyed this.
Before
This
you go
was-
on, who's the next match?
It's John Cena versus Rusev for the United States Championship at 31.
Okay, so while you guys discuss this, I just have to hit the bathroom. Sorry about the live, but yeah, I
Hey,
just gotta
no
go to the
worries,
bathroom.
man.
All right, man.
There's
Ricky
zero
Stark-
people.
Ricky Starks was at WrestleMania 31. He was in Rusev's entrance.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, my thoughts on the whole John Cena versus Bray Wyatt feud. I really enjoyed it because at the time I loved the Eater of Worlds character Bray Wyatt. My only problem was I wish Bray Wyatt beat John Cena and Cena
Yeah.
put him over because the storyline was fantastic. Like, Bray Wyatt was trying to show John Cena's fears. And then after this Mania, it led to, the whole, he's got the whole world in his hands.
With
I
all
just wish
the
that I wish John put Bray Wyatt over at this time because it definitely would have helped him.
this was definitely the best version of Bray Wyatt. Like besides the Fiend, besides how he is now.
Oh, and the video package for this, Danny, you gotta go.
Like I said,
check it out.
I've talked about
they
in
used
lengths, I believe.
Eminem song Legacy.
Ooh.
Great video.
I talked about in lengths. 'Cause I remember didn't Eminem's song Legacy, wasn't that like one of the official theme songs for this Mania?
Yep, because of the Bray Wyatt John Cena video package.
Yep. So, but I talked in lengths on the podcast, about that visual of John Cena standing in the cage, the lights go out, and then you see a bunch of kids in goat masks, and they're just singing, "Look at the whole world in his hands." And bro, that was just such a creepy visual. You know what I mean? I
So
talked
creepy.
in lengths about that. So I like the feud between Bray Wyatt and Cena, but I just feel like the Undertaker and Brock Lesnar thing, man, that just puts such a sour taste in my mouth. I can't watch this Mania. I just can't do it.
Here's the thing for me. I didn't like the whole Brock Lesnar Undertaker thing, but I did like what they were doing with Daniel Bryan at this time. And, it was like he had that big WrestleMania moment that he deserved.
Was this around the time where he wanted the WWE title and Triple H, the Authority, weren't into it, and he took over the show with a bunch of people?
Yep, that's when it happened. And Daniel Bryan had to face Triple H in the opening of this Mania. If he beat Triple H, he would go on to be in a triple threat match with Batista and Randy Orton for the title, and he ended up winning it. Mm-hmm. But moving on now to our next John Cena WrestleMania match, WrestleMania 31 in San Francisco. John Cena versus Rusev for United States Championship.
The only thing I remember about this, didn't Rusev put Cena over? Cena won the U.S. title here?
Yep, Rusev put Cena over, and that's when Rusev's momentum went.
Yeah. But I remember, I remember being outside. I don't remember much about the match, though. I've seen bits and pieces of this Rumble, but I haven't watched the entire thing.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing about my thoughts on the Rusev versus John Cena feud. The feud was great because Rusev was built as this dominant, anti-American heel at the time. And, he was doing this whole Russia thing where, after he would win, his matches against, Mark Henry, The Big Show, the Russian flag would come down. Lana, with him was, $1 million. And then, of course, Mania 31, you get the whole tank entrance, which was fantastic as well.
Which they boinked in.
With the Russian national anthem playing, too.
While they boinked in it.
And that's the thing, for me, I would say lovely, lovely, lovely if Rusev was put over in this situation, but he wasn't, so that's why I gotta say acceptable.
Yeah, Rusev...
Or just about bearable.
And that's another sad case of, a Zack Ryder case.
But it was a good match.
It was another Zack Ryder case, which was really unfortunate because he was another dude that just happened to get over, by himself, and Vince took that shit away, and now people are using it as a fucking joke. So yeah, I would it would be lovely, lovely, lovely under the circumstances.
So acceptable, but where
put it right before Bray Wyatt and put it before Big Show and Miz.
Right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
This John Cena around this time, the company
was rough.
revolved around him. It was around the time everybody hated Cena because they just thought
They
that
they
he
had
was
nobody
handed
else.
opportunities.
They had nobody else at the time. You know,
Well, 2015, they were picking up a lot of momentum with a lot of these NXT guys.
True. This is when like the dawn of the NXT guys really started to happen, and NXT was really prominent for like, all right, the big stars are going to the fucking main roster and they're gonna fucking shine. You know, this is when we got our Seth Rollinses in 2012. You know, this is when we got our Seth Rollinses, we got our Roman Reignses, we got our Dean Ambroses, you know, our Kevin Owens. You know, like we got all these guys coming in.
Owens and Zayn, they came on the main roster around 2015.
That's what I'm saying, man. You know, like we got the future of what's going on right now as we speak. You know, like the company revolves around them now. So like it's crazy of how long this was. But again, you know, this was in a time where they really needed Cena because they were leaning on him, like because they didn't have the stars and choices that they have today to push. You know, so it was really a struggling roster at this time. So for Vince to take that away from Rusev, one was kind of fucked up, and two, yeah, it was just everybody hated Cena so much because we
the
unfortunately
only
got
good
dubbed.
thing about John Cena winning this match, there's only one good thing, and that was, you know, his United States title open challenges that he was doing every week on Raw.
Absolutely,
Because
dude, that
that's
was
where we got
entertaining
Sami
as fuck.
Zayn on the main roster. That's where we got Kevin Owens' debut, and they really put him over.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, as much as I loved Rusev at this time, and it
There
took
was
a lot
benefits.
away from him, there were benefits of having Cena as champion.
It just sucks how it happened because Rusev, dude, Miro has a lot of charisma. He has a lot of talent. Like, yeah, he may need some help with his delivery on the mic if he's not going to have a mouthpiece, but dude can fucking go, and he chiseled the fuck out. Like,
Dude,
you need to give him some credit, bro.
The whole Russian thing at this time, it was so good.
It was,
so
dude.
Good.
It was on fire, and for Vince to pull the fucking plug on it again, I hate this motherfucker, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would have been lovely had all that shit not happened. You know, like if there was no negative in it, it would have been a lovely situation along with Bray Wyatt's match.
All right, moving on now to the next John
Miz Part
Cena
2
match. WrestleMania 33. We had a mixed tag team match. The Miz and Maurice versus John Cena and Nikki Bella. And of course, John Cena and Nikki win, and John Cena proposes to her.
Put this in the bin.
They are not together.
Put this in the bin. Put this in the bin. This was a fucking ridiculous waste of a John Cena match. Yeah, put it behind the... No, not first. Put that shit right in the last place. Yeah, that was fucking travesty. Get that shit the fuck out of here. Yeah, I don't even want... Yeah, no.
The only thing I remember about this match is John Cena proposing, and I feel like that's the whole reason this match was put together.
And look how that fucking ended. So yeah, no. Yeah, we can skip right over.
But they're both. But at least you know they're both very happy. You know, moving forward and
that's
stuff.
cool
Nikki
and all,
has
but
a family now John Cena's
that's cool.
In Hollywood.
And bro, that's fucking awesome. You know, all the power to them. But in terms of what we're talking about, garbage.
Yeah, no, the build and everything. I agree with you though. WrestleMania 34. John Cena versus The Undertaker.
Oh, this was just fucking feel good, man. Obviously, the Phenom, anything that we have in Undertaker that we've got is a blessing. Even that botched Roman Reigns WrestleMania match, you know, like it was unfortunate what happened there, but anything Undertaker is just graceful to watch because he was somebody that aged like fine wine in the ring, and you know, love it or hate it, it was just a banger of a match because it was two legends at this point.
I had to put it in the bin, man.
It is in the bin because it was, but at the same time, I would have put it in just about bearable for me because again, for the two superstars it was, I have to give it credit for me for bearable. Like I can understand why you're gonna keep it in the bin.
But here's the thing why, like for me, I feel like it needs to be in get in the bin because exactly your point. They're both big superstars in WWE. Yeah. And they had no build for this. John Cena went into this WrestleMania as a fucking fan.
Yeah.
And then just goes into the ring, calling The Undertaker out. And then Undertaker buries the man literally in like 4 minutes.
I feel like Undertaker around this time, he lost the magic. You know, the whole...
It was starting to slow down.
Man, they all added up.
That and like the whole magic of the Undertaker was the streak, bro. Like he lived off of the streak for years, and once he lost that, like
into the
what
wrong
else did he
fucking
have?
person. Edge was spoken to about it, and he said, "Fuck no."
Would you have Undertaker and John Cena over the triple threat match at 25? Or would you rather have them over that?
I would honestly put them very last.
Also, you think it was worse than the whole Nikki?
Actually, no, put it right in the middle. Yeah,
Okay,
right
I
in
was
the
gonna
middle.
say.
I'll give it some kind of integrity.
It's the fact that they both were so big
You can-
superstars. They should have done
yeah.
a better build for this.
So
There's no excuses.
for this last match,
Oh
you can
my
honestly put
God.
that as our one and only lovely.
No!
Put it in the fucking bin, bro.
You want to put it in the bin?
Get it in the bin.
Really?
Get it in the fucking
See?
bin, bro.
I get a lot of heat for my opinion on this match.
Fuck
Okay,
this
see,
match.
all right, before you put it in the bin, at least hear me out.
Okay,
So,
we'll hear you out.
Yeah, but like I don't expect you guys to like, take it out of the bin, like if you wanted to really put it in there, I don't blame you. But this match was different because it wasn't really a match. It was more of like a stroll down memory lane in their own perspectives and in like a wider spectacle and something different for the crowd, especially during the Thunderdome era where you can pull more of that shit off, Was it kind of silly? Yeah. But you got to see something creative between these two dudes, and it was kind of a feel good. We got to go down a really weird angle with John Cena's prototype again. We got to see the Thugonomics shit. We got to see them as part of NWO. Like it was just different, and I appreciate what it was, I guess, because it kind of let them just do their thing weirdly on camera. So I would put it in just about bearable because it was just an odd angle,
If I remember, didn't me and you watch this Mania together?
We
You
did.
came over to my house. I ended up falling asleep before this
You
match
did.
happened.
Good for
And
you.
bro, I watched clips and I was like, "What the fuck?"
I just
You
rewatched the whole
you
thing.
see John Cena in NWO gear just dancing around like us.
He's like,
man.
ooh.
And Bray
Dancing
Wyatt is
around
Eric
like us,
Bischoff.
man.
Yeah, man.
Oh my!
All right, put it where you want,
God, bro.
Put it right in
All
the bin
right,
if that's where
I
you're
want to
going.
give my thoughts on this though.
Go ahead.
Because I
Put
get
it
a
in the
lot
bin
of
and
heat
burn it.
for my opinion
Understandable, bro.
on this. So this just wasn't my cup of tea at the end of the day. Like I've
Understandable.
tried. Okay, here's the thing. I recently, this past week, rewatched this match because WWE posted it on their YouTube page to
Yep.
see if I would still feel the same way that I felt watching it live. Because a lot of
Okay.
people obviously praised this, cinematic match. Me, on the other hand, I enjoyed the Boneyard match a lot more than this.
Oh my!
Well, yeah, because you got
God.
actual in-ring competition there. You actually got some kind of action sequences, but it was actually kind of fucking lit. They should have shot it more like a movie, I feel like, but at the same time,
That was
bravo.
also the
Perfect
first time
way
we
it
saw the
was.
American Badass since like the early
American
2000s.
badass. Sorry.
And that's the thing, like with this, match with John and Bray, I know it was all storytelling. It was telling a story, but I don't know, like when
They did it for
you
entertainment because
when
this
you
was
do
the pandemic.
teleporting stuff in wrestling, I just can't get behind that. I just can't.
They did it for entertainment purposes because they were trying to get people's mind off of COVID, and it was
Mhm.
COVID. Everybody thought it was if you get it, it's a death sentence automatically.
Yeah, no,
and
I totally understand that.
it was
but I
so
don't know.
trash though. The Firefly Funhouse match was fucking atrocious. And
I'm
like
gonna,
this,
I'll give because Ben said lovely, so like we can
put
put it
it
on
just
just
about-
above bearable.
I was putting
Yeah.
just bearable. I wasn't saying lovely.
well, in the beginning, you
Oh,
said
in the
you
beginning it was. Yeah. Sorry.
like this Mania for the most part for what they did. This Mania was. I liked the Randy Orton and Edge stuff. I even liked for what it was Drew McIntyre's title win, but just. There
Yeah.
was a lot of hits or misses on this match. It was a Mania that they had to have with no people, so just the whole magic of what Mania was
Yeah.
not in this show, and there was just a lot
Understandable,
of
man.
issues.
I don't know.
Understandable.
I don't know. With that match with Cena and Wyatt, I just
Well,
wasn't a fan.
At least we got our tier
The only
list,
good
man.
thing was Vince McMahon puppet when he went, "That's some good shit."
It is kind of embarrassing that there's only 2 John Cena matches in his entire Mania career. That's the best.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I didn't realize.
But they were
realize
both
how many-
fucking worthy of it, at least.
I didn't realize how many shitty
They'd be on
matches
my
he's
like
had,
top
though.
like 5 list. Both of those
Yeah.
matches.
I didn't realize how many shitty matches he's had though, and that's amazing. Come from because I never looked at John Cena's Mania matches like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the thing on Rankum. This is a great way to really see things because a lot of
Hopefully
us,
next,
we
hopefully
don't
next
get to
time we'll
watch because
promote
like when
more.
we watch things like one-on-one and stuff,
Yeah.
like we judge the things that we see, but like looking at all of it at the same time, you get a whole different perspective on things.
So I'm going to say this right now. After this weekend, we need to revisit this tier list and add Theory in his for his number 16 Mania.
I feel like this match is going to be like a lovely, lovely, lovely match.
Yeah, same here, especially with what we got going.
Yep. But yeah, it's crazy to me to see this list. So here's what we had for our Rankum. And we're going to go through these real quick. So at number 1, the best, we had Once in a Lifetime, John Cena versus The Rock at WrestleMania 28. Number 2, WrestleMania 21, John Cena versus JBL. At number 3, under acceptable, John Cena versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 30. Number 4, Big Show versus John Cena. Number 5, John Cena versus Rusev. Number 6, John Cena versus The Miz for the WWE Championship. Number 7, John Cena versus Triple H. Number 8, John Cena versus Shawn Michaels. Number 9, John Cena versus Rock 2. Number 10, triple threat match, Randy Orton, Triple H, John Cena at 24. Number 11, Batista, John Cena. Number 12, the Firefly Funhouse bullshit. Number 13, triple threat match for the World Heavyweight title, Edge, Big Show, Cena. 14, John Cena versus Undertaker. And the last and the worst match of his career at Mania was John Cena and Nikki Bella versus The Miz and Maurice. Do you guys want to move any of these?
I would.
Move the fucking triple threat match and put it in Just Bearable and put it right in between Batista and Cena.
Oh,
now
okay,
we're thinking about it. Yeah, put it
I would
there.
put.
Yeah,
to
put
be
that
honest, I don't know if the Firefly Funhouse is better than the intergender match with John Cena, Nikki, and I don't, because it wasn't necessarily a match. So how can you
there. Honestly, put it in the bin and put it in front of that because fuck that intergender match. I'm sorry, but yeah, put it there. All right, so that's like our final picture.
Hold on, wait, real quick though.
What up,
I don't
fam?
know. For me, I feel like I gotta put Miz and John Cena like behind Michaels and Cena.
That's fine.
It feels
can do that.
criminal to do.
You can
put
do
Miz
that.
over Triple H and Michaels.
Yeah, you can do that. That is perfectly understandable.
Yeah. I feel bad that we don't have one under Lovely, Lovely, Lovely. I
Put
feel like
that
putting
one up
John
there.
Cena and Bray Wyatt
Yeah,
there.
put that up there. There you
Yeah,
go.
That's better.
That feels a little bit more balanced.
All right. That feels pretty good.
There we go.
Yeah, bro.
All right, man. That's our tier list. Let us
That's
know what you
right.
guys is.
Let us know in the comment section below what your guys, like where you guys would rank these John Cena WrestleMania matches. And we really hope you guys comment because nobody really showed up here on the live. This was a great idea, Danny Huckins. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, subscribe, turn on the post notifications. The link's down in the description below. You can go follow all of us on our social medias. All the links down below. In addition, you want shorter clips of these podcasts and stuff that we do on the YouTube channel, you can go follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. All that down below. And of course, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, we'll be live tomorrow on Friday for a watch along with Danny H Vlogs, Friday Night SmackDown. And immediately following that, a live episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast. And of course, you already know we are taking over.